Hey there, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of AfterThoughts. Tim Risto here, host of the Creative Christians podcast, joining you once again. In keeping with our current discussions about faith-based films and in following along with the current faith-based film in nationwide theatrical release, Sound of Hope, we're going to take a look at a story that dropped about a day ago over at Entertainment Weekly, all about executive producer of Sound of Hope, Leticia Wright, expressing concern over the partnership with Daily Wire to help promote the film. What is her concern about? We'll take a look at this article and explore that a little bit in detail. We'll also take a look briefly at Leticia Wright. She is a Christian. There are Christians at Daily Wire, and so you would think there'd be a shared mission and vision. So why is she expressing this concern over the partnership with Daily Wire? We'll look at a couple possible reasons as to why that is. We'll also take a look at Leticia Wright and her faith as well. But first, let's dive into this article and see what this is all about. Again, this is from Entertainment Weekly. This is by Maureen Lee Linker, published on July 10th, pretty late in the day, 8:50 p.m., so it hasn't been out for that long. The headline reads, Leticia Wright says it was not my decision to partner with Daily Wire on new film. Wright, who executive produced Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, insists that she doesn't condone, quote, using this beautiful film for divisive political purposes, unquote. So my first question is, how is it being used for divisive political purposes? It's the first thought that comes to mind. Again, I think Daily Wire has a particular shared mission and vision of the story is about, helping kids in the foster care system, helping them get out of it and get into families. So there's the family values aspect of this, which I think is what Leticia Wright sees in this too. So again, where is the divisive political purposes here? So anyway, let's carry on. Leticia Wright is distancing herself from the Daily Wire after the right-wing media company partnered with Angel Studios to promote her new faith-based film, Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. Wright, who is best known for starring in Marvel's Black Panther films and who served as an executive producer on Sound of Hope, said in a statement posted to social media over the weekend that she had no say in working with the company co-founded by conservative pundit Ben Shapiro. To be clear, after we completed the production of this film, Angel Studios were brought on board to handle its distribution, and they later partnered with the Daily Wire. Wright wrote, "This was not my decision, and I was not given an update or made aware of this decision. I am in no way aligned or affiliated with the Daily Wire. I am thankful for all who want to positively champion this film and campaign to serve children. However, I do not condone using this beautiful film for divisive political purposes. That is not why I joined this project." So let's stop here for a second, because one of the ideas that immediately pops to mind when I read this, and I've seen this discussed online as well too since this article dropped, is the possible motivation that Disney is applying some behind-the-scenes pressure here to her, saying essentially you need to distance yourself from this Daily Wire partnership story if you want to continue to work with us in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a possibility because Disney's agenda-driven messaging is, in recent years in particular, has been pretty much the antithesis of what Daily Wire's is and has been. So there could be a little battle going on behind the scenes there, to which Leticia Wright is, giving into. I don't know. Or it could be that she's just got more left-leaning politics in this than what Daily Wire has. Don't know. But there seems to definitely be a disconnect happening here. So let's carry on. Released July 4th, Sound of Hope tells the story of the East Texas town of Possum Trot and Bishop W.C. Martin and Donna Martin, who led an effort with families from their church to adopt 77 children stuck in the foster system. Wright stressed that it was this message that drew her to the project. "We have created a beautiful film that gives a voice to vulnerable children with the hope that families across the country and world, no matter their faith, race, or diversity, would join together to help children, to be moved to make a difference in any way they can," she wrote, which is why it's such a shame to see small pockets of discourse online take a divisive political turn. This story isn't about politics, it's about children, it's about sacrificial love for children who have experienced unthinkable horrors and how communities at a grassroots level, like the community of Possum Trot, can help provide the safe, loving homes they so desperately need. Any conversation that detracts from that is unnecessary and harmful. The potential for this film to positively change lives is far too important. Okay, so here we get a little bit clearer picture of what she's talking about, where she says, which is why it's a shame to see small pockets of discourse online take a divisive political turn. So it seems like she's just talking about these discussions happening online that she's seen and must involve Daily Wire or people that support Daily Wire or something to that effect. I don't know. But she's talking about the political discourse that's come up about the film. I mean, in some ways, the same thing happened with Sound of Freedom last summer, where people started turning that into a film about right-wing politics, which it's not. If you've seen the film, you know it's not about right-wing politics. It's a film about helping kids who are victims of child trafficking. Just as Sound of Hope this year is a film about helping kids in the foster care system. Again, that's the central story, and that's the shared mission and vision behind it and behind the people that are involved in it, whether it's Daily Wire, whether it's Leticia Wright, whether it's Angel Studios. Those that involved saw this story as having a potential to help with kids in foster care. So, to bring up that she's seen discussions online about political discourse, to some degree, you're drawing attention to that. You're making it political by bringing this up. Let the discourse happen. That's public, free speech. Let people talk about it, whatever. But don't draw attention to that and then try and denounce Daily Wire, who's helping you partner in promoting the film. You need all the help you can get, especially with these faith-based films, which typically have small budgets and typically don't have the advantage of the Hollywood system promoting it, oftentimes usually detracting from it. So, again, I don't understand why she's doing that. But let's carry on here. Angel Studios, which previously produced the faith-based thriller Sound of Freedom, acquired Sound of Hope from Peachtree Productions, which had teamed with Wright to make the film. Angel then announced a partnership with the Daily Wire to market Sound of Hope. Again, you can check out my video about that partnership. Jordan Harmon, the president of Angel Studios, said in a statement provided to Entertainment Weekly, "The powerful film takes a stand for vulnerable kids, and we're pursuing partners who are passionate about this fight. Angel Studios is grateful for both Leticia and Daily Wire's partnership on getting this story out into the world. We encourage everyone concerned about the foster care and adoption crisis to get involved and see Sound of Hope." In a separate statement to EW, Daily Wire co-CEO Jeremy Boring rebuffed Wright's disavowal of the company's involvement with the film and blasted, quote, "the intolerance of the modern left," unquote. Boring goes on to say, "Leticia and I probably don't share the same politics," he added, "but I believe we share a Christian faith and, more importantly, the same goal of shining a light on something we can all agree on, a community banding together to help kids in need. We hope people don't allow this distraction to steal from the message from the film and the impact it can have. Everyone should see this movie and join the fight for kids. It's too important not to." And I agree. I think that's really the bottom line here, and that's why Daily Wire is ultimately involved in this. So I'm not sure why she's bringing this out other than, again, possible pressure from Disney. Article does go on to say this is not the first time Wright has found herself at the center of controversy. In 2020, she came under fire after sharing a video that questioned the safety of COVID-19 vaccines. Initially in response to critics, Wright tweeted, "If you don't conform to popular opinions, but ask questions and think for yourself, you get canceled." She later deleted the social media post and issued a subsequent statement saying, "My intention was not to harm anyone. My only intention of posting the video was it raised my concerns with what the vaccine contains and what we are putting in our bodies. Nothing else." In her statement promoting Sound of Hope, In spite of its connections to the Daily Wire, Wright concluded, "Despite all this, I stand firm in the belief that this film will rise above the discourse to speak for itself, and I encourage audiences everywhere to be inspired and witness the incredible true story of how a small church community changed the lives of 77 young children in Texas and become part of the movement to change the lives of children across America and the world." So I'm not sure why she's drawing attention to this. At the same time, there's a shared mission and vision between her and Daily Wire, I would think. She's a Christian. There's a number of Christians at Daily Wire. Even her stance that she mentions here on, the vaccine, I'm sure is shared by many people at Daily Wire as well. They obviously have come together over the storyline and of helping kids in the foster care system that the film Sound of Hope is all about. So it just seems like they have more shared territory there than not. So again, it seems like there's probably some kind of external pressure potentially applied to Leticia Wright in this situation that's maybe forcing her hand a little bit or just motivating her to respond in this way. I don't know. I don't have any insider knowledge on that, but that just kind of seems like a possible thought here and that. I do want to take a quick look over at Premier Christian News and take a look at a little bit more background of Leticia Wright. This is an older article here from August of 2021, but it's got some interesting stuff. The headline here reads, "Leticia Wright, quote, I've had people tell me you should stop talking about Jesus," unquote. Christian actress Leticia Wright has spoken in an interview about turning down big roles because of her ethics and speaking out about Jesus in public. Leticia Wright, who was 27 at the time, it makes her about 30 now, is most famous for her role in Black Panther, but has also starred in Doctor Who and Black Mirror. She is also vocal about her Christian faith, taking part in a devotional series with the YouVersion Bible app and posting about her faith on Instagram prior to deleting her social media accounts. In a recent interview with The Independent, ahead of her new drama, I Am Danielle, showing on Channel 4, she spoke about how her faith sustains her in her career. The world is so fickle, and there's not much that you can really put your hope in to make you feel whole. Even now, I'm going through a new transformative stage of my life with understanding who I am, but with God, you can really just get through these situations. It's been beautiful to have my faith in Jesus, which is worth more than anything. I think it's a beautiful statement. And again, you see things like that, and I think you say, why is she distancing herself from Daily Wire, where, again, I think there's more shared mission and vision there than not. I know, Ben Shapiro is Jewish, of course, but, you've got Michael Knowles, who's Catholic, Christian. You've got Matt Walsh over at Daily Wire as well, who's Christian. So, to say that it's all about politics when there's clearly Christian ethics functioning behind Daily Wire's motivations as well, I just find it odd for her to highlight politics as part of it when it's really not. The BAFTA-winning actress has previously spoken to Premiere about temporarily giving up acting for a few months to focus on God. She also jokingly criticized magazines in the past for cutting out her quotes about God. I thought that's kind of interesting. Doesn't surprise me, but Wright told the newspaper that her faith in Christ has kept her alive, but that some people around have advised her to keep it to herself. I've had people tell me, hey, you should stop talking about Jesus, but there will always be pressures to keep things private that the world may not agree with. And I'm not trying to force anything on anyone. I'm sharing my truth because I probably wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for Jesus. I probably wouldn't have been able to cope. It's interesting and a pretty powerful statement. Little catch there on I'm sharing my truth because I probably wouldn't be alive right now. I don't know if she just misspoke or actually meant to say that, but my truth. Truth is truth, right? Otherwise, there is no truth. Something can't be the truth if you have a version of truth and I have a version of truth, and there is only one truth when it comes down to it. And obviously, her truth is a biblical-based truth found and centered on Jesus. So again, don't know if she just misspoke there or what, but that's the only thing that kind of catches me a little bit there in that statement. And if someone saves you and brings light and love to your life, you want to share that. You don't want to hide it. Wright got into a bit of Twitter trouble last year. Again, this was 2021, when she tweeted a video with the prayer hands emoji as a caption that promoted anti-vax conspiracies. She expressed annoyance at the time for being canceled when she was just trying to raise concerns and think for herself. Reflecting on it now, she said, I guess I realized that people will say that you said things that you did not say, and that was hard. She has since been off Twitter and Instagram for 8 months and said, it's been brilliant. I've been able to go away and educate myself, read books, and connect with my family. There's not been this pressure of expectation. Everyone should just step away from social media. Turning down certain roles has also been part of her journey in the acting industry, but not something she regrets. I'm trying to be truthful and honest about what I can be a vessel for. I do like that statement. If you don't feel like you're the right vessel for a particular project, then you shouldn't do it because you're wasting everybody's time. A script will come that will require me to do certain things I don't want to do, but other people will say, if you do this, it's going to enhance your career. It's about not molding to the pressure of what it means to be successful. I want to define who I am. There again, I think there's some good statements in here. A lot of good stuff. I'm glad she's making choices, it sounds like, trying to make choices back in this 2021 interview based on, her faith, potentially. I could take issue with that last statement. I want to define who I am, define who Christ made you to be. I think getting back to that is always, as Christians, we should be looking at who has Christ made me to be, not be all that I want to be, but all that Christ wants me to be. But I love this here at the end of this Christian News where they have a little prayer here at the end. It says, Father, we thank you for Leticia Wright's faith and how she is not ashamed of the gospel. May this challenge us to speak out about where our hope lies. We ask that you sustain her faith and grow it. Please provide mature Christians around her so they can mutually encourage each other in the faith. Amen. I thought that was just kind of neat that the way Christian News does this after some of their articles. So, interesting thoughts here. Interesting ideas. And again, all of it just kind of seems like, wouldn't her and Daily Wire be more, in concert with one another rather than her taking odds with this? So, again, to me, it seems like there's some kind of external pressure possibly from Disney that may be motivating her responses here a little bit. But I don't know Leticia Wright very well at all. This article I wanted to share because I think it's helpful in talking about her faith and some quotes from her and her perspective. What do you all think? Ultimately, her coming out about this really doesn't resolve anything. Like I said, it kind of draws more attention to politics rather than resolves it. This probably is not going to hurt her or her acting career. Again, her response may be helping to smooth things over with Disney. It's probably not going to hurt Daily Wire any. They're used to controversy all the time and dealing with criticism. If anything, this will probably hurt the film itself, Sound of Hope. And that's probably the biggest, the saddest thing about this. In fact, if we jump over to IMDb quick, current box office is just almost to 8.1 million right now. So, it's doing okay. Again, if you saw my video the other day about the box office take, it cost 8.5 million for the production budget for this film. It was crowdfunded for that amount, so that's already paid for. Here it is at almost 8.1 million. So essentially all of that you could say is profit. Theaters take a 50% cut of that, so they've got a little over 4 million, plus subtract whatever the marketing costs were for this. I don't know. I don't think they were much. I think that's why Daily Wire is involved. So it's probably minimal amount. So they're in the black already, but obviously you want that number to be more. So hopefully by the end of its theatrical run here, I'm guessing at about a month or so, maybe this will be, 16, hopefully it'll double and get to 16 million, 18 million, something like that. Don't think it'll do as well as Cabrini did, which made, I think, 20 million, I believe it was, 24 million, 20 million, I believe it was, off of a $30 million budget, or $34 million budget. It made 20 million, I believe is what that was. But probably will not get to 20 million, but who knows? We could see. Will this attention here that Leticia Wright is kind of drawing to the film be negative, or will it positively help the film? Seems to me like it'll probably be more of a negative, but who knows? But again, regarding this whole issue of talking about Christians dealing with one another, working together, getting along, I thought it'd be good here at Creative Christians if we just drop in a couple of good biblical nuggets of wisdom to look at to close out the show. So I looked up over here on some Bible verses, talk about the theme of getting along with others. Even as Christians, and as creatives, we run into issues with one another. Some great verses, though, here. Any number of these would be phenomenal. I think 1 John 4:19 to 21 says, "We love because he first loved us. If anyone says, 'I love God,' and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And this commandment we have from him: whoever loves God must also love his brother." Just good words. Remember, love one another, right? Work to get along, always through all things. And that's what John 13:34 says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another." Hebrews 12:14. I love the book of Hebrews for so many reasons. But this verse here is great. "Strive for peace with everyone and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord." We need God. We need God because he is holy. And we need his grace, his forgiveness, his love. In other words, here, Proverbs 19:11, "Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense." Proverbs 17:14, another great one, "The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so quit before the quarrel breaks out." I love this one here too. We'll close with this. Philippians 2:4, "Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Actually, let's close with Ephesians 5:21 here. "Submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ." Wonderful little thoughts, little nuggets of wisdom. It's good to keep in mind for all of us, whether it's Daily Wire, whether it's Leticia Wright, whether it's me, whether it's you. Good things to keep in mind as we deal with one another, that there are things of the world that will draw us astray, that will challenge us in our faith and in our lives. So, when you look at all of that, what do you think is behind some of this with Leticia Wright? Do you think Daily Wire is being political about the movie specifically? I know Daily Wright is a political platform, but are they necessarily being political about Sound of Hope? Or is it just something that aligns with their mission and vision that they want to support and help promote it for the filmmakers and, of course, for Angel Studios? Where do you think Leticia Wright's stance on this is and should be? Or do you think she has a point to make here? Anyway, a lot of different thoughts to kind of consider in all this. Just kind of stepping into this story. It's a potentially deep one because I don't know her motivations, don't know exactly what she's talking about in terms of online discourse being political, whether she's speaking about Daily Wire or just about forums and different discussions that she's witnessed online that have come about from all of this. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on all this? A lot to kind of think about and delve into here. But I thought, again, this was another interesting story that really takes us into all sorts of different areas here in regard to faith-based films, Christians working together on creative projects, and how we can have disagreements over things too, especially when you've got a lot of non-Christian entities and studios that come into play or engage in this process as well. How do we navigate all of that as Christian creatives? interesting story. Lots to look at here. We'll continue to look at this and follow this story as it goes along. But hopefully I gave you some good thoughts and nuggets to kind of delve into with this whole issue. But we'll keep following it. That's all I really got for today. Hope you all are having a great day. Go out and watch some good faith-based films. If you haven't yet, see Sound of Hope. It is a great film. I really want y'all to support this because it's a wonderful film. If we want to see more projects like this, it's up to us to support films that have a good faith-based element to it. And despite all this discourse that happens around the film, it's up to us to support films that are good, regardless of what executive producers and partners in the film process do. Sometimes we have to look past that and just look at what the film says, what the message of the film is, and support good ones like that. So anyway, that's all I got today. Have a great day, y'all. See you next time. Bye-bye.